I think trust your instincts. I think bringing your real self into the room really helps kids connect. Kids know when you're being genuine and when you're not. So as much as it is becoming familiar with the material, kind of understanding how am I connecting to the material. So maybe I might not be able to have the youth voice, but I'm the middle-aged woman that they might be talking to. So I can give the mom voice or the auntie voice and say, actually, when you say that, this is how a person my age might interpret that. And so kind of bringing that into the group really seems to help. The other thing, so I facilitate the program in a school setting. And so I think what's been really helpful is prefacing at the start of the group who I am and kind of what my limits are as far as discussion, because I want youth to be able to talk about what they feel comfortable talking about, but I also want them to be aware of that we're in a school. And so talking about limits of confidentiality, or if they were to report things about children who were under the age of 16, this is, as an adult in the room, this is what I would then work with you on to do with this information. So I think by providing them with those limits and the context, it doesn't put me at risk of saying something as an adult to influence youth, and it also doesn't put them at risk that perhaps they've overshared and they weren't ready to share something, and now there's a whole bunch of other people that are involved.
I think really being mindful of the specific group, because every group is so different, every group dynamic is so different, and I think what is so wonderful about HRPE is that it's so adaptable. So just really being flexible, but you really need to pay attention and be considerate of kind of where they're at that week.
Take time to prepare. There's a lot of reflection and preparation and coaching that the facilitators have to do. So knowing the basics and foundations of the manual, so knowing each session, what are the activities. So the technical preparedness is one piece. But the other piece is, okay, so who are the 6, 7, 8 youth who are part of my program? What has been their past or current lived experiences? What are some of the additional considerations that I have to pay attention to just generally, but also specifically in relationship to the content of the program? If it's something that's emotionally safe for them, is it emotionally safe for all those people? I think it's I'm going to be honest and transparent, it's a hard program to implement. If you truly want to do it in a trauma-informed and culture responsive ways. I think the impact of the program truly comes from the facilitators and the way they deliver the program. And it's a huge responsibility, which means that we should not be doing this on our own. So if there is possibility, if there are opportunities, debrief with your facilitators, debrief with your peers. If there's opportunities to seek out external consultation, do that as well. If you need to brainstorm ideas, test out scenarios, activities. Hey, I want to do this with this group of youth next session. What do you think about this? I really encourage you to do this, because I don't think it should be a standard expectation that you just become truly competent and you would never need the support. So I think accepting that this will take time, it's okay to seek out consultations. I think expert facilitation is understanding our strengths as well as limitations, as well as the supports we need.
I think you really need to be very, very mindful of who your participants are. So getting to know them ahead of time, especially if you're working with higher risk youth, like we're serving at the Children's Aid Society, who are more vulnerable and have more histories of trauma and so forth. I think it's really important to know who they are and where they come from, but also to meet with them ahead of time and really identify or help them identify who their supports are going to be. Because we know that the topics that we cover in the program are pretty heavy for youth, and we do set up different kinds of supports for them, but we want them to be able to identify supports they can reach out into their own life and start that process.
Know the kids you work with, understand them, take the time to hear them, right? And really be able to become in tune so that you're looking through their lens and not confusing it with your lens, right? Because when we look through the lens of our young kids that are out there, truly young minds and teenagers, they're the essence of our future. And so being able to support them to navigate their worlds through their eyes and how can we fit into that is really truly important.